Hello, fellow miners. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Dwarf Fortress. Episode 10, Prepping for the Dig to the Caverns. Alright, what is going on with my bolts? Where are the bolts? I'm sort of curious. You really have not moved them an inch. Did I somehow tell them to only... Oh, yeah, I did not specify the metal that was allowed. So let's do iron bolts in here. That was my bad. So the iron bolts are going to be moved to the firing range. And it looks like you guys want me to mine downwards once I'm done with this. Copy that. I was pretty sure I said no bins. You got it, child? You 4-year-old? You blissful, euphoric 4-year-old? What is your secrets? How do you get a blissful 4-year-old? I want to know. And like an addict, I've been checking on my crossbow production a bit too frequently. Is it even in the queue yet? No. Hey, look, the steel bars jumped the queue. Who would have guessed? Okay, we couldn't make coke out of lignite, couldn't process rope reeds because we ran out. Ran out of thread for weave thread into cloth. So the weave thread into cloth task, are we leaving alone threads that are in here? Yes, we do have some thread in here because that was the worry. Is I think we have automatically. Standing order. Automatically weave all thread. No automatic weaving. So at this point, we shouldn't just keep weaving thread and cloth to build up a bit of a thread supply. And then I can do that through work orders, because that way we have a supplied hospital. The children yearn for the mines? Yeah, and I'll be sending them there soon. So bolts made of iron go here. And we're just waiting for that to be delivered and the weapon to be smith. And then we can try to set up archery practice for our marks-dwarf. Because I'm not currently working on any large mining projects. I'll unlock the miners. Do I need qualities? Ooh, good question. Maybe. Probably. They're getting moved now. I can see them being moved. How many times do I have to tell you no bins? Every time I change the settings. Okay, so I see iron bolts are here. And they're hypothetically set up and ready to go for archery practice. Hey, finally, something that is not a raven. There has been other animals here, but we haven't really been butchering them. If we want more threads, I'll try to do the Where's Waldo for rope breed. Easier said than done. Doesn't really pop out at me. Certainly a lot of barley here if we wanted to stockpile barley for brewing. And then there's long grass, which we can also brew with. I really don't have a lot of rope reed here, do I? Because we're not really in the forest. We're in like a prairie. We're in like a treeless, plantless prairie. The Valley of Death. Well, let's hope not. I'd like to keep these guys... here we go, but they're dead. Dead barley. Yeah, no. That not really a source of anything that I can get my hands on. All right, what was the bill for the... Can you designate specific foraging targets? Not that I know of. The bill for the crossbow. Steel bar is greater than 10. Let's lower the threshold to greater than 3. Out of impatience. Because I want to be done with that task and getting them, like, training before I move on. If I'm going to potentially open myself up to danger, I would like the means to be able to deal with it. Is this a 4-year-old moving pots of alcohol around? Yes, yes it is. I love it. Dwarf Fortress never change. I obviously need a booze cellar, because we done be totally out of room. And also checking up on the state of our overflow stockpile. Making sure that we've got capacity for more stuff, especially if we're going to be quarrying into the underground. There's not like a lot of room, I would say, but there's some. Sell some to the traders next year. It sells reasonably well. Some what? Oh, alcohol? Yeah, I'm sure you meant alcohol. Okay, so we have iron bolts laying on the ground in the in here, ready to be fired. Perfect. And now we're just waiting on the weapons. Oh, it says 7. Oh, we finally have it. We finally have a crossbow. All right. Now I'm going to fail on my face to actually set up an archery range. So prepare for the best. Let's go back into the standing order, or the work order rather, for the crossbow and like raise it back up to 10. Because I don't want many crossbows that quickly. So, new squad. This is squad menu, prepare a squad, and train them. Yes, that's what I'm doing. So create a new squad. And we will call them a symbol. Let's give them a symbol of an arrow, a red arrow, and a background of let's see, a black background. Let's do like a gray. Cool. Led by Atlamillion. And the name is going to be... not very creative, because I'm just gonna... there's only one person. It doesn't need a fanciful name, it's just like one dude. Oh, also, I'll hide my overlay so you can see a little bit better. Alright, so we have our marks-dwarf, Atlamillion, set up on the squad. Schedule. Constant training. Edit the constant training to be a minimum of at least 1 instead of 10. And Atlamillion will train. And this is going to be Mark's training. Done editing. So you are given the train of constant training, Mark's training, your equipment, Add a uniform. Right now, I don't really have armor. So our marks-dwarves are just like whatever the hell they have on them, plus a crossbow. Confirm. And update. Whoa, what is going on here? Quite the gathering. Alright. Now what's important is you start the game off with like quivers. I do not have, however, a backpack, which I'll add. Oops, misclick. Leather backpack, and I don't have a water skin, which I'll add. I'm just going to make them as a one-off for now. So I'll make a wolf leather backpack and a wolverine leather water skin. You don't think that worked? I'm sure it didn't work either yet. Update. Sign marks-dwarf. Okay. Now, Alamillion should be seeking out equipment. Has bow, has quiver, does not have bolts yet, does not have backpack, does not have water skin. Alright, has bolts, have quiver, have weapon, a steel crossbow, but no backpack or water skin. The backpack and water skin is for like storage and drink. Because in the equipment here, you also have supplies. So I can say carry food and carry drink. And this is more like if you're sending them somewhere or they're doing something for an extended period of time. Additionally, they have bolts available to them. Perfect. And then another thing to check is if you go to standing order. Where is it again? No, work details. It's, where's the hunting? Other hunter ammunition. I'm going to delete the bolts from the hunter ammunition. So hunters are not reserving those crossbow bolts from, so I'll just do that again to show you where it is. So it's standing orders, other, set hunter ammunition. I'm telling them do not use those crossbow bolts that I made, because that's for my marks-dwarf. And only the marks-dwarf. At the moment, she's asleep, so... But she has a crossbow. She's got a cougar leather quiver. She's got iron bolts. And once she's up, she should hypothetically train. Hypothetically. Being the important word, because I struggle at setting these up. Her current order is... where is she, anyway? She's drinking. Well, I mean, no, it's appropriate. And the next step is the archery range, set up for the marks-dwarves to train in. And then the barracks for the marks-dwarves to sleep and store their stuff. And we'll just stalk the hell out of a million, make sure that stuff gets done. Watching you. Also, why are you drinking there? I've got like tables and stuff. What did you put in there? Oh, iron bolts. Okay. You're praying. Man, you're just have us in complete suspense here. Whether it will work or not. I also have a backpack and a water skin now, so I'm going to force update equipment. and get Atlamillion to, and there it goes. Wear the water skin and the backpack we just made. Not that they're like strictly required for the training. They aren't, but they're nice to have. And you are now doing what? You are again praying. Oh my god. Could you just, I mean, just do the training that I have you scheduled as Mark's training. Constantly train. Yeah, unless you have a tavern with a barkeep, dwarves won't drink at tables. That's fair. They will eat there, at least. I might give up. Well, alright. We'll troubleshoot. You're frail and recover slowly? Boy, oh boy. Are you ever a good militia commander? So, putting them on duty, they are always doing training. They should, so she should be heading to the shooting range and using it. If I am not mistaken. They're a desk sergeant? It seems like it. There, yeah. I mean, she's doing everything but. And this is something that I've always run into, is like trying to get them to train has been a struggle. So she's equipped. She has food, bolts, backpack, crossbow. Got all that. Is scheduled for training, and where you have at least one person training. And the reason for this is if you're training in melee, you need 2 people. And if you take a look, the current month is Moonstone, and they should be training. You can change it where it's staggered or whatever, but, you know, where it's like some months on, some months off. But in this case, constant training. And it's still not working. She's still just like chilling in the temple and feeling wonderful and angry and blissful all at the same time. There are bolts here. There is the assigned archery range where they're assigned to train there. But no, this room is only getting used of a kid thinking about rainbows. So this is exactly what I ran into in playtesting, is like, they just couldn't be bothered. Now the thing is, like, the fact that they're equipped means that they are at least ready to be mustered, if need be. So having a few crossbow dwarves is useful early on, especially when you don't have like full suits of armor, so that you can defend yourself. But I will say it doesn't seem like they are going to start training anytime soon. Alright, let's check in on... There's a few other things to check. So, the squad menu for equipment. Yeah, no, they have ammo. For training and everything, yeah. And she... Yeah, okay. This is exactly about as far as I got before going, oh, the hell with this. If it's this convoluted and works this poorly, you know, my marks-dwarfs can just figure out how to use a bow in combat themselves. Alright, we'll move on to starting to dig the cavern. So, dumb question, what would make us think that the weaponsmith we have is really a vampire? It's a little off topic, but I can explain. So, vampires are typically very skilled, more skilled than their age would normally allow. And when people that have skills that can't be explained by their age show up in your fortress, that is one tell that they're potentially a vampire. It's not a guarantee. You can have savants, dwarves that are just legendary craftspeople despite their young age. More often than not, the tells for vampires are that they have particularly high social skills that most dwarves just don't have. So if you take a look at like an average dwarf and you go to their skills, dabbling skills, right? You look at another one, you know, for social skills, adequate. He's a jeweler, so it kind of makes sense that he'd have slightly higher skills, but like not a lot of competency, right? And again, dabbling, and you can just go through the checks. So if you find someone that is like young, is like legendary in something, has a really good social skills and good combat skills, they could be a vampire, but you don't really know for sure. You can like lock them in a room and see if they like dehydrate, because vampires won't. Or you can just wait to see if like people are injured, being drained of blood, or like a bloodless body shows up or something like that. That's basically a guarantee that you have a vampire. All right, so here it is. We've got a soldier with no activity. So Atlamillion is idle, despite the fact that I have her on constant training regimen with ammo that can be used for training and a bow and firing range and everything else, and just like she's not doing it. So it's one of these game mechanics that I had made work like the last time I played, you know, years ago, and for whatever reason it doesn't work now, and I can't get it to work, even though this is a valid setup. So we've got, again, to review, we have the marks-dwarf squad assigned to it, as you can see, assigned to fire on the archery targets. Within the archery targets, they have a stockpile of bolts. Forget the bolt recovery, that's not a requirement of the zone. And really all the zone needs is a firing target and ammunition. That's the bare minimum of an archery range. Firing target, ammunition, and to be able to fire on said target. And then as far as the scheduling goes, they have the proper equipment, obviously. We can see that plain as day. They've got the bolts, they got the iron, the crossbow, the quiver, etc., etc. And then the schedule is the marks training, which only requires one, and Atlamillion set to train with no partners. So, one thing that's useful to note is if you have more than one, you should set up a bunch of individual marksman orders, because if you have two marksmen set to train as a group, they're probably just going to go to your barracks and like train dodging, you know, and not actually train marks-dwarf stuff. So you have to do like, it's really stupidly convoluted, but you really you have to do like train one, each on their own like individual single training orders. The minimum 10 is just the default here. This is if you have additional training orders. This is not a slider that matters. So that when it reads 10, it's only if I'm queuing up another training order. So you're looking at something that is not that isn't a part of the issue at all. Because that's just what it's set at as a default level when you're queuing up training. So if you wanted to train 10, and that's where you get into, if you're training meleeers, you would train at least 2. So that way, no one shows up to melee training alone, because there's really nothing you can do. You need a sparring partner. So for melee, you train at least 2. For marksman, you train at least 1. But I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know, and done editing. No, the targets don't get assigned to anyone. So it just doesn't work. I don't know what's wrong with it. Unless you know what's wrong with it definitively and you can explain it, that's cool. Otherwise, I'm not spending another second on this broken mechanic because I just don't care. I've deemed it as broken. It might work, and I'm only going to listen to an expert, not a, well, what if you tinker? Because it's like I could be here all day long tinkering. I really don't want to be in that situation. All right. Next thing I want to do. I had designed this area here as the entryway for the caverns, where we're going to mine into. So what I want to do before that is mine it all out and make it ready for archers. So I'm going to excavate around it and then build back walls and give the whole like arrow loops and the like again. And this is just out of an abundance of like overly cautious about what might attack me. Because you really never know what's down there until you bust open your first cavern and you're like, oh great, forgotten beasts. I guess I'm not living today. And I just don't want that situation for myself. Yeah, I have Kaolinite down in this layer too. So it's actually, now I look at it. This should not be built. This is just a area for firing on things that are undesirable. Let's say. When things are coming up from the underground, we want a method to be able to stop them and shoot at them. It occurs to me I really haven't talked too much about the Forgotten Beast mechanic. Forgotten Beasts are sort of like the... Eldritch horrors of Dwarf Fortress, maybe, for lack of a better term. Where... when you go underground, you will... inevitably, one time or another, run into horrors. And the horrors are procedurally generated monsters of radically varying strengths. Some of them are weak and really only need a dwarf or two to subdue. Some are game enders. And when I say game enders, I mean, you fight them, doesn't matter, you're just dead. they have properties that allow them to murder you instantly, and it's like, that's it. Goodbye. And that's just the nature of Dwarf Fortress. It's why it lives by the losing is fun moniker, because sometimes you really just, it can't be helped. So what you can do is you can try to limit access to your fortress and have contingency plans to deal with them. Deal with flying ones, deal with land ones, deal with ones that, you know, but, you know, there's only so many different contingencies that are reasonable to plan for. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to have a simple double drawbridge. I'm gonna have an airlock, if you will, of for an entryway that we can close when we need to. So we'll have a lever. Let's see, I'll put one lever here, one lever here. And then one bridge this way. I don't want the lever that close to the bridge. I don't want them to flatten themselves. Something like that. Very simple, straightforward. If something is coming up from the underground, we can pull some switches and stop, perhaps, the thing that we need to deal with. It's not overly complicated. It's just the same way we have the gates up here. And then the hope is, if we do catch something before it comes up to kill us, we could maybe shoot at it? Maybe? Or maybe lock it in? I mean, I don't know. But it's better than having nothing. Alright. What we got here? Militia commander. So given that our militia commander... Where'd they go? Outlamillion. Oh, you're sleeping. I might dissolve the I don't know what to do about the squad. I mean, it's not working, so. All right, let's take a look at this for a minute. Add a lignite, add a rope reed, add a cloth stuff, add a bit coal, block site, and I need an empty bucket. Okay, so the empty bucket is the only task from that long list of things that is like, I care about. Let's queue up buckets. So carpenter, make bucket. This is because some of the buckets that we have were earmarked for the hospital, and I just didn't have a replacement. So if buckets are less than, let's say, 5, and logs are greater than 10, make a bucket. Don't care what material. Well, Bubba Shug, thank you for the resub, by the way. And Wiggums a little while ago. Sorry I missed it. Okay, link, and link. And if you're really overly cautious, I suppose what you could do is you could have like one miner go into the mines and like do the mining with the doors closed. Can they break down doors, or would that depend on how strong they are? The ones I'm most worried about are the ones that have like ranged attacks. That I think would be the most scary. I haven't interacted with too many Forgotten Beasts, but like there are doors that are unbreakable. When you have a strange mood and you make like some sort of miraculous artifact door, it becomes invulnerable, and it becomes a good method to use to stop a Forgotten Beast. So right now I'm just pulling the levers to see if they yep, okay, they work. And this isn't failsafe by any means. So, you know, some Forgotten Beasts, I'm going off of, like, memory from years ago, but, like, some of them will have, like, an AoE miasma that just, like, kills you. They would come up here and they would outgas, like, poison, and anyone near them would die. Like, there are some situations where it's just like, well, yep, that's it. that's how this ends, you know? So I'm not creating a perfect system to be able to handle all nonsense. I think it's worth noting that. All right. Just making sure that we're doing the things we're doing. Good, we're already making buckets. We did make another crossbow ×2. So I should have 2 extra crossbows, and I do. Cool. We are midwinter. I don't remember where the wood is, though. Now would be a good time to go fetch the wood, but, like, having forgotten where it was, I'm not going to bother. So obviously, I don't want to do any mining too close to the bedroom quarters. Unless there's a specific resource I desperately need. So at the moment, we have stairwells that go down to elevation 35. And I think that's reasonable. I think what we can do is we can have other levels. So level 42 is where we have our bedrooms. And I think it's worth giving yourself some wiggle room so that I have additional levels below the bedrooms where I could build into for more bedrooms or whatever else we need. Meaning that, like, the mining shaft will be left alone. This vertical shaft will never touch the rest of the colony so that it is physically isolated. I'm not really sure what material I need at the moment because I have all the refined coal. What is our bars at anyway? So we got 29 iron bars, 10 steel bars, pig iron bars, coke. Yeah, there's not a lot of materials that I'm, like, desperate for at the moment. Unless I'm going to start to try to make, like, steel gear. If you want me to find a cavern, I certainly could do that, though. So I suppose I'll pull on that. See if that's what I'm doing. Should I dig for a cavern or change priorities? Again, worth noting that some caverns are dangerous. So I don't really know what's down there until we get down there. And while you vote on that, I'm going to check up on everything else. So, my iron bolt queue, what happened there? Because we made far more than I don't know how we got 250 or 500 when I said do 250. But whatever. They were earmarked for training. I don't know. So bars, we just looked at. It's fine. I want to look at logs, which seems okay. Prepared meals looks fine. We got over 100. So many shell pots of booze. And that, of course, means that our drinks are flowing. Yeah. Checking on the kitchen. So the pigtail's not brewing. The rope reed's not brewing. There we go. That all looks good. Thank you for tuning in to Dwarf Fortress, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I am not, however, looking for feedback, as I mentioned that in the intro and description. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow dwarves.